All right, seniors, welcome to week 12. I'm actually filming this the morning of our first class on Monday. I got in here early so I could try to film some of these to put on top of my agenda so some of you can go back and look at them. I'm noticing not so much in this class, but in a lot of my classes, people aren't looking at this anymore. They come in and say, hey, what are we doing on Wednesday and stuff like that. So I'm a little frustrated about that. So I'm trying to make sure that everyone knows to go here. This is one of those things that's going to continue even after this year, even after the coronavirus business does kind of settle a little bit. We're still going to have weekly agendas. It helps me stay on track. Now, that being said, you'll notice the last couple of weeks I haven't stayed on track. We've been off. I'm still figuring out the speed I need to go with the way I've set up this class. It's different than I've done it in the past, so that's why I'm a little off. I'm trying to cover more material, and so I need to do things differently. So for example, Monday we actually have normally it's a work day. I had to switch it around because the assignment for last week came off of a Thursday assignment that we never got to. We had a lot of issues. I think the big one last week was the Little Buddies field trip, which took a day away, which was this one. So Monday, today, we're not doing a work day. We're going to cover some more, the last, I don't think it's the last little bit of that unit, maybe it is, but a little more about generating synthesis essays, okay? So you remember that from AP 11, I know, but we're going to go over that in a little bit more detail, how that applies to literature. And your assignment for this week is also found there. And notice it says week 11 assignment. That's still from last week. That's why I didn't change the day there. It's going to be an activity on page 155. We will look at those in class. And then I believe, no, I did not set time aside this week. I thought maybe Tuesday I did, but I don't. So you're going to have to work on that one on your own. But you're welcome to send me any messages or actually bring it to me in the next couple of days. This is going to be due on Tuesday, not Tuesday the 27th, but next week. But you'll have a couple of assignments, so make sure you work ahead, all right? Tuesday, we're going to look at, I think this is the last part of it. We're going to start looking at how you integrate personal experience into essays, which I am not a giant fan of, to be honest with you, but your book discusses it. And depending on what classes you're in college, you may have an opportunity to do some personal narratives. So I want to go ahead and give you that. Wednesday, we start our next big unit. Okay, so we've kind of looked at this chapter on what it means to be an American as a sample one. Next, we're going to move into one that the topic is identity and culture. And the source text is Heart of Darkness, which is one of my, if not my favorite book. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite book. That's right. So the issue is that a lot of students don't like it. What I've noticed is if we read it in class and I go through it with you, kids tend to, for the most part, overall like it. If I ask you to read it on your own, you don't like it. I think a lot of that comes to the whole being asked to read outside of class. It's just not, even in an AP class, people don't seem to enjoy doing that. We have to get over that. All right. If we're going to cover this at the speed we need to, y'all have to do some reading at home. It's not a lot, but this is a very complex text. It's one of probably, it may be the most complex you'll read in high school. All right. It's a great one. It is not a happy story. So as expected, right. But I do think it's miles better than The Plague. So hopefully that won't be. It's got a lot of interesting things to say, and it is a very important book. And to be honest with you, it's one of the books, one of the probably four that if you, and we're going to read two of those this year. This one and Hamlet. So two of the four books that I think that you can use for the open-ended question on the AP test almost every time. Okay. So this is an important book. It's worth reading. And it's got so many, especially in the world we live in today, so many interesting topics to discuss. Okay. So if you'll notice on the assigned reading, I said this is not suggested. You have to do this. Okay. Don't give me the I'm busy, anything else. I'm asking you to read, what is this, 8 pages. Okay. You can find time to read 8 pages throughout the day. Instead of playing Among Us in class, get your highlighter out, read, and mark stuff. Okay. As I pointed out, occasionally you need to treat my class like a real one too, and this is where we start that, okay? Now, Thursday is going to be a test day. What are we testing over? We're testing over those works that we saw in it's Unit 4 in your textbook about what it means to be in America, okay? And the way that's going to work is I'm going to give you a handout. You're going to have, actually, I'm going to give it to you on Wednesday, but Thursday we're going to have time in class to work on it. It will be due Friday at midnight. Okay, because it is a take-home test. You can finish it in class Thursday if you're kind of plan it out Wednesday when you get it and just kind of work through it fast. Okay, but it will be due Friday at midnight to be put into your OneNote, and we'll talk about that a little bit in class. All right. Finally, Friday's an essay conference day. This is going to be to establish topics and provide essay instruction. So we're going to talk about, I believe I'm going to use the identity and culture setup, and we're going to talk about that. So we're going to get you started on writing an essay for me, okay, for this quarter. It's going to be a quick turnaround, November 13th, but it's still only a 3-page double space, so you guys can do it. All right. So that's this week. Really only one heavy day, Wednesday, with reading. Monday and Tuesday are kind of finish up days. We don't have any time set aside for working class this week, although Friday kind of is for working on your, sorry for all the moving this around. Friday for working on your essays. So, but you guys can knock these essays out pretty quick, I'm sure. So, all right, but that's this week. Pretty simple. I don't anticipate any major disruptions. My evaluations are scheduled for this Wednesday, so that may throw things off a little bit, but I don't see why it would be much. So anyway, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this, those of you that did. And I'll see you in just a few hours, actually. It is 6:15 as I'm filming this, so in a couple of hours we'll be in here. So I'm looking forward to it, too. I always love teaching your class. So anyway, thank you, guys. I appreciate all you do.